What is going on, guys? It is me, TV here at SMB, coming at you today with a late night upload. This is a little out of character for my channel, but I simply have to talk about this because this was such a big deal in the FinTwit community, financial Twitter, for those of us who are on the Twit space. Um, this is such a huge thing that's happened. So Atlas Trading, the main leaders of Atlas Trading, Mr. Zach Morris, PJ Matlock, Tommy Coops, Mystic Mac, Hugh Henney, Laidback, Deity of Dips, and Ultra Calls, aka the Stock Sniper, are all being sued by the SEC right now for $100 million in fines. This is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it's one of these things where people talked about it happening for so long, but now it's finally happening. Um, these guys, they're getting sued by the SEC. This ain't no joke. Holy schmokas, this ain't no joke. That the way it goes. Anyways, I wanted to talk about this because my personal journey in the stock market. I know I've only been doing this for like, I mean, yeah, I mean, I really got in the stock market at the end of like 2019 ish. And I'd be absolutely lying if all of these guys probably are not the reason that, or I mean, I'd be lying if I said that these guys aren't the reason that I got into stocks. I was really a big fan of Zach Morris. I was a big fan of PJ, Tommy, Hugh Henney, and Didi Dips to be specific. The other guys I didn't really follow that much until like recently, or maybe like a year ago. But I really didn't look up to them. Pretty lame, I know. But I definitely followed these guys a lot, and I personally made some money off of the call outs that these guys would call out. So what they're really getting sued for now is pumping and dumping, essentially. They would all coordinate together. They'd have a little chat room in Discord, and they'd be like, "All right, guys." They'd find a stock that had like a really small float, maybe like a $3 million float. Float being the amount of shares public or that's available to the public for trading. They would scoop up a whole bunch, go to their Twitter followers, and be like, guys, this stock is ready to pop. And then they post CEI or AHT or AMC was one of them, even though AMC was much bigger than just these guys. CEI was a main one. That was a big one. Wish was another one. Clove, pretty much all the SPACs back in the day, back when SPACs were just all the rage, back in February of 2021, February of last year. That's so crazy. I think that was only like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Um, these guys would get together and just pump it to their Twitter followers, be like, "Hey guys, hey, buy this. This one looks good." Meanwhile, they were already all in, and then people would buy, and they would just sell like instantly. They just take profits, and then they would continue to pump them on Twitter, acting as if they're still holding them. And when they're completely lying to their followers, they're not holding these stocks. They already sold. I mean, they would buy. I can go down the list, but they would buy like $20,000, and you gotta think about they were pumping like 79 cent or 89 cent stocks. They just buy like 20,000 shares, 30,000, 40,000. The thing goes up 2 cents, they sell immediately, and look at that. That's like $4,000 profit for literally just tweeting out a stock ticker, and then they'd sell, and then they'd act as if they're still holding. They would be like, "Well, guys, I'm thinking CEI still got a chance to go to $1. It could still go to $10." That was a big one, CEI. I gotta show you guys what we're talking about here. CEI is this tiny little oil company, Camber Energy. This is what I'm talking about. Look at this fucking pump, man. So these guys started tweeting about it. The thing is at 40 cents. So think about it. These guys, they all had enough money to buy like 20,000, 30,000 shares of this thing. They go on Twitter. "Hey guys, CEI, it looks like a good one to take off." It takes off. It goes to like $3. Do the math. You buy 20,000 shares of something at 50 cents, and it goes to even $2, and you are making so much fucking money. It's unbelievable. And these guys just did this all year, or over the past 2 years. I think this lawsuit starts from January 2020 up until very recently. They would just do this all the time for all these stocks. AHT, another great example. This one had a reverse split. That's how big of a piece of shit this was. But it went from $19, pumped 3x right there, AMC is a good one, but that I mean AMC was so much bigger than just them. But they pumped that one pretty easily. Clove pumped that one. Look at that. That one just went stupid. I mean, that one went from like $7 a share all the way to 27, but they were pumping it back here from 11 up to 17. SoFi was another one that they all pumped. That one went crazy. I mean, I could just do this all night. Wish was another one that I believe they pumped it back here. Or no, it must have been after the IPO. Went from like 17 to 30, and now this is just the deadest stock ever. It's at 63 cents a share. But they would just do this over and over and over. And there are leaked messages, not leaked. They got warrants to get all this information. They got messages of these guys like laughing at people, being like, "We're taking these fucking idiots' money. These guys are just idiots." And then they'd go on Twitter. So they would pump it up, they would sell, take all their money, act as if they're still holding the stock, still be pumping it, and then when the stock inevitably would go down because no one's buying it because they were the ones pumping it, their followers would be like, "What the hell, man? The stock's going down. You said Wish was going to go to $100. Now Wish is at like $3." And then they'd make fun of their followers. They'd go on here and be like, "What the fuck? When I called it out, it was at $5 and it went to 10. You should have sold." But it's like they were still pumping the stock even after that. So it's like the gall of these people. I mean, I didn't get into it from following them because I thought they were like all swell guys. It was just you just get sold on the dream, you know. You see these guys that are like they're making like 3x their money, and I was just sitting there. I, for one, had torn my bicep at work. I was out of work for like 3 months. Not out of work. I was on workman's comp for 3 months. I was just sitting at home doing nothing. Back during from about November of 2020 until like February of 2021. So that was like right in the prime. I mean, this was like just any stock. They could pump any stock. It was just so easy. And they had this humongous Discord server, Atlas Trading, that has, of course it's not going to load. Uh-oh. Oh no, they might have deleted it. They might have deleted the server. No, here we go. I mean, this server has like 16,000 people online right now for one. I don't even know how many people are in this server. It's just ridiculous. I mean, this server is massive. It's huge. And it looks like all these douchebags have fucking left it. But PJ Matlock, he's the owner of it. But yeah, these guys, I mean, they were scam artists, and they just had the gall to go on Twitter and be like, "You fucking idiots, you guys should have sold. Why are you getting mad at me?" So when people would get mad at them because they obviously got scammed, these guys were such pussies. They wouldn't even take the flack and be like, "Yep, sorry guys, we screwed up." They would just be like, "You idiots, you guys suck." And then Tommy Kroops, he's another one. The guy he's in the band Breathe Carolina, which is a band I used to like back in like high school. Every time he would go on his fucking grandstanding like gravy train being like, "I used to be homeless living in my car, now I'm a millionaire from stocks if you guys just work hard enough." Like all these guys just sold you on the dream that if you just work hard enough, you'll make money like them. If you're quick enough like they are, you'll make money like them. And it was all a scam. It was all a bunch of bullshit. And they made $100 million from January of 2020 up until now doing this. It is just insane. So they're getting sued for that amount. So let's go down this. Summary. To their legions of followers on social media, the 8 defendants have for years promoted themselves as trustworthy stock picking gurus. In reality, they are seasoned stock manipulators. They identify stocks ripe for manipulation, acquire substantial positions in these securities, and then recommend these stocks as good investments to their followers on Twitter and online stock trading forums they run, and on podcasts. So Dan and Hugh Henney, Dan Dia Dips, this guy, Daniel Knight, and then Mitchell Hennessy, Hugh Henney, they run the podcast Pennies Going in Raw, which is one of the biggest like stock podcasts out there, I think. And it comes from the like perspective of just the retail, average Joe trader. So it obviously exploded because everyone was getting into the stock market these past couple of years, and these guys were just talking about stocks on this podcast. And they know their stuff when it comes to stocks, but they also know how to scam people. And it's like, day trading is so incredibly difficult. So I understand why these guys, these pieces of shit, decided to do this, because it was just that easy to make money. But it's like, why would you do the thing that's way harder when you have these big followings on Twitter from all these people? So it's just so sick because they harvested on people's hope. It's 2020, COVID's locked everything down. You can't go see a basketball game or a football game. You can't go eat at a fucking restaurant. You're at home unemployed and making your CARES. Is that what those were called? Those unemployment checks, the $600 unemployment checks. You got nothing going on, and you're on Twitter, and you see Zach Morris. This guy just he 10x'd his money on a stock, and you're like, what the hell? This guy could do it. Why not me? So you get on your fucking Robinhood, you put in some money, you see Zach Morris. He tweets fucking buy CEI right now at $1. It's gonna go to $10, and you buy, and then you sell it at $1.50. You made a little bit of change. You're feeling good, and that's just how these guys made such a big following, because they would literally just, so you gotta do the math. Say 10,000 followers of theirs would see their tweet. Those 10,000 people each would put about, maybe say, $1,000 into these stocks. Do the math. You just pumped $1 million, I think, right? 10,000. Yeah, million. You bumped $1 million into a stock, and they would do these stocks that were like literally micro caps, like stocks that were less than $20 million market caps. So you pump $1 million of all just buying into a stock that literally has no movement with like a 3 million float, and you can really move the price of that like crazy amounts. And they would just be sitting there. They all told each other, hey, I'm going to buy this, tweet it. I'm going to buy that, tweet it. They'd buy, tweet. Everyone bumps, they sell, but then they go back on Twitter and like, hey, we're still holding, guys. We're still holding. Keep it going. I mean, it's just, it's fucked up, dude. It's so fucked up. And it's really upsetting because, I mean, they weren't like heroes, but I looked up to these guys, and they would flex all their money on Instagram. They're all on private jets, sitting there smoking cigars. They got their Rolexes on, and they are all just like flexing all this fucking money that they just scam people for. They just got it through scamming. It is like premium douchebaggery. They were all such douchebags. It's like, it really feels good because I thought in the back, for the first year or so, I thought these guys were smart, they were cool, and then over this last year, they showed their true colors, because this last year, 2022, has been so difficult in the stock market. The money, the like crazy liquidity in the stock market just vanished. So that's the only reason their scam went on for so long, and it worked so well, because there was just so much liquidity in the stock market over 2020 and 2021. Obviously, because the Fed was pumping so much into the market, basically, that they could just pump anything because there was just so much liquidity. So if they would pump something, the retail traders following them would pump it, and then the hedge funds, they're the ones with the real money, they would see these stocks pumping, so they'd buy too, and it'd just be like pile on pile on pile, and if there was a short squeeze going on, it'd just go crazy, and it was just so easy. But then their true colors showed this last year, because it just wasn't that easy. And I could just tell. I was watching these guys on Twitter, and it went from them tweeting out a different stock like every other day to them just being like silent and just being like, yep, this has been a tough year, guys. And then they'd like try to pump something, and it just wouldn't really work. And everyone was like, dude, what happened? I thought you guys were like good at this. And then they were losing followers, and it was just, everyone was turning on them. And then that's when they really started talking shit about everyone, because everyone was like, dude, you suck at this. What the fuck? I thought you were like a pro. And their true colors showed, and it is just, it's hilarious. And HBO made a show talking about this guy, Tommy Coops. He was on this HBO show, I think, with Didi Dips, Dan Knight. So they were on this fucking HBO show about the AMC like short squeeze, and these guys were just like getting real like mainstream attention. And now it's all come crumbling down, and all these guys have just been silent on Twitter. It is so sad. I mean, this came out just this evening. Zach hasn't tweeted since then. He tweeted yesterday, I believe. Dan, I don't think he's tweeted recently. Yeah, he hasn't tweeted shit recently. Hugh Henney, he's very active on Twitter. Same with PJ. I don't believe he's tweeted anything. Yep, last tweet was yesterday. PJ, last tweet was yesterday. I mean, these guys are just like, they're what is that, like try hard meme where the guy's like at the computer like freaking out? That's all these guys on their computers right now. They're fucking microwaving their hard drives because And they're just so stupid, man. They really thought like their Discord messages were private. So that was the other thing. Like they got their Discord messages in this shit, I believe. Let me look up Constantine. Yeah, so Zach Morris, co-founder of Atlas Trading, a stock trading forum on the social media platform Discord, which offers users the ability to communicate via voice calls, video calls. PJ Matlock. Defendants engage in a long-running fraudulent scheme to manipulate securities by publishing false and misleading information in online stock trading forums, on podcasts, and through their Twitter accounts. So that's really where they're getting these guys, is the fact that they would say that they're still holding a stock, or they would even have the gall. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. Start of the sentence. In order to cover up their scheme and continue perpetrating it, the primary defendants at various points deleted old tweets and Discord chats and lied to their followers about the reasons why particular stock picks were followed by declines in the prices of those stocks, obscuring their own roles and causing losses among their followers and other retail investors. Like, that's the main thing. It's like you just can't do that. You can't go on Twitter because they know why the stock is falling. They would just go on Twitter and just be like, "Oh yeah, the shorts." They would blame it on the shorts. They would fucking blame it on the shorts, man. They'd go on Twitter and be like, "Oh man, our stock picks are getting really shorted. The hedge funds, they are shorting the shit out of our stock picks, guys. You guys just gotta buy more. I mean, really, just keep buying more. We'll squeeze the hedge funds, right? We'll squeeze them if you guys just keep buying. It's not us. It's not the fact that we already fucking sold and all you idiots are losing money. It's the fact that you guys just aren't buying enough. So just keep buying. Oh shit, what was that? Where is the one from Dan? There was a good message I saw. Here we go. Each of the defendants amassed substantial numbers of followers on Twitter where they regularly post about stocks they are manipulating. The term FinTwit refers to the community of Twitter users that regularly tweet about finance and the stock market. Defendants consider themselves influential with the FinTwit community. As Hennessy remarked in a private Discord chat, 20 of us run FinTwit and we have more money than some countries. I mean, these guys were so confident they would never get. Here we go. This one's great. So I'll give you context. The defendants understood that they were participating in an unlawful market manipulation scheme and that they were profiting. That was the other thing. They would tweet like at the SEC. They'd take a picture of a Rolex and be like at the SEC. These guys are so fucking dumb. Oh my god, they were such douchebags. Oh, it was just crazy. The douchery that these people. I mean, oh, talk about a fucking inflated head. These guys all had heads the size of a car, dude. I mean, so the defendants understood they were participating in an unlawful market manipulation scheme and that they were profiting from misleading their followers. The defendants sometimes discussed their scheme over Discord voice chats that they believe were private, but were being recorded. so that's the other thing, is that there was probably an insider. One of these guys ratted on the rest of them. I guarantee you. I think it might have been Ripster. This guy, where's Ripster? What, did he fucking delete his Twitter? Look at this fucking tweet from Tommy Coops. Goats you should follow. Mystic Mac, literally he named everyone that's in this in this lawsuit. It's so funny. Zach Morris, PJ, Hugh Henney, all have made me money and have a good eye on the market on different ways. They were just like they were just promoting each other. It was just like a huge circle jerk. We're all just circle jerking, like getting each other followers, pumping each other up, being like, my boy Zach, he got a really good call out on this one. You gotta follow Zach. He has the best scams. So that's the thing I was talking about. I think there was an insider that ratted, that was recording all this shit in case worst comes to worst, in case he needed it for his own defense. I think there was a rat who was saving their own ass, which I absolutely do not condemn what one bit, because these guys are all pieces of shit, and I think they would all stab each other in the back if they could. Anyways, so I think it was Ripster. Ripster 47 was one of the main guys in Atlas, and he's like the only main guy in Atlas who was not mentioned in this lawsuit. So I 100% think he was the one that was recording all these conversations. I said earlier that they like the FBI like got warrants or something. I don't think that's true. I think it was an insider, a rat, who recorded it in case the SEC came to him and was like, "Hey, we're gonna fucking arrest you. Do you have anything that can maybe help us? We'd give you a little deal, you know, if you could give us a good case against your friends." And they obliged. So this is just a really good conversation. So, for example, on March 1st, 2021, Knight and Cooperman, along with others, discussed the group's manipulation of the securities of GTT Communications, which at the time traded on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker GTT. Following this portion of the conversation, Dan Knight, get caught? We're robbing fucking idiots of their money. Cooperman, it's so funny because I can see the I can like see the timeline of these. Like I get it, the ticker, I send it to Dan. I know Dan's on voice. Dan tells you guys. I see it go up more. Then I send it to Gary. I see it go up like way more. Laughs about it. These guys are all, oh, we're so good. My other thing is like, all right, if we lose on one of these, we've won on like 100. So we got to remember with these ultra ones, they all do the same thing. It like spikes, comes down for a second, then get the scalpers. Then the scalpers get out. Like Gary gets out. Then it goes fucking buku. But no, that's not only it. Like what he who is that? Ultra. What he does is he alerts it, and then like 5 minutes later, all his little minions start like retweeting it and saying added with him, so it like builds the hype back up. It happens every single time. They have their own shit down to a fucking science. It's crazy. These guys are just the biggest pieces of shit. I could not be happier. I look back at when I was like big fans of these guys, and I'm like glad I realized that these guys, they are absolute con artists, and this year just fucking cemented that, because they were all terrible. They all stopped tweeting. They all started trading like SPY and Apple because they could not pump small caps, and they were all just scam artists. And it is now apparent that's why they had this free Discord, because they didn't need to charge people. So their Discord was a really big one. They'd have the small caps room. They'd go in that. They would say, "Hey guys, looking at this one," and then everyone in the Discord would buy. So that's why they wanted people in the Discord, because then they have more people to pump. So that's why they weren't even charging to come into the Discord for their call outs. Everyone was like, "Holy shit, Atlas free call outs! I'm joining that, of course." They would just fucking let people in so that they could have their money to pump the stocks, man. That's just like, God, it's such, like, I really don't know how these guys sleep at night. How do you fucking live with yourself doing this to people? Like, it's so fucked up. It is so messed up, man. You're just like stealing these. These are just normal fucking people, man. And I've seen stories of people who lost like so much money on their stocks, like ungodly amounts of money. And you see about that all the time, like on Wall Street Bets. But I guarantee these guys were 100% responsible for some people who probably lost everything. And they're not 100% responsible, I should say. The people that lose everything are fucking idiots or gamblers. But if it wasn't for these guys, they probably wouldn't have done that. They would not have bought Wish. Some idiot who just threw all of his trust fund into the fucking stock market and bought CEI would not have done that if it wasn't for these guys telling them to do it. And I don't know how they live with themselves. So I think justice will be served. It's a huge development in the FinTwit community. I mean, this is just, it's crazy. It's crazy. And, yeah, now they locked down the fucking Discord. I mean, they aren't even on the Discord. They just shut it down. They locked everything up. And now people are typing in here like, "LOL, SEC gotcha." And now it looks like they finally locked her down. But wow, it's wild. You just never see stuff like this. And I know people are gonna be like, "Well, hedge funds do this every day," and it's like, yeah, that's true, but I don't know. Hedge funds don't go on Twitter and they don't tweet to average Joe retail traders and they don't like hype them to get into stocks. Like, they're not that fucked up. They do this all the time to people in the stock market, but they don't have a platform where they go to acting as if they're trying to make their friends rich, acting like they're trying to help their followers. They don't even do that. Like, if these guys were all just out front, or upfront about it and just said, "Yep, we're scamming you guys," then I mean that's one thing. But they just weren't. They were acting like they were a good helping you out. They were acting like they're your bud who's got the good stock call outs. They're trying to help you. And oh, this let's just go down the list. I gotta look at lots. Lots. This is another one. Oh, is it fucking delisted? Right, no way. What? Car lots got delisted? Well, that one's just fucking not even there. Diary show Clove. Yep, Clove. Wish. AHT. What are some other ones? Oh, Visel. Yeah, look at this pump. Holy shit! Look at this stock. Look at the history of the stock. I mean, it is. It only exists to get pumped and dumped. I mean, holy. Oh yeah, look at this pump. It went from, well, it's not a reverse split, but it went from $1 all the way up to like $9. Oh god. I mean, there's literally hundreds of these stocks. But anyways, that's the gist of the video. I just had to talk about this. It's just a huge development in the retail trading community. So thanks for watching, and don't fall for the pumps. Don't get pumped and dumped because like a middle school relationship, it will not end well, and you will get dumped and be very sad. So thanks for watching, folks.